Hello everybody, I'm Big G and welcome back to episode 2 of Big G versus the World. Now, from where we left off last time, it was just beginning. The world has reached a stage where wars are being declared. The peace treaties of the past no longer apply, and we're no longer bound by them. With that in mind, we're going to take back the territories which are rightfully ours. Now, I said last time that Galatia wasn't the biggest worth target, but I think because of that they're probably the easiest target. So I could dispatch 2 corps of infantry just to storm their capital as soon as I can. The other 3 corps of infantry, we're going to prepare for a war with Gibraltar. Well, not the 3 corps. I have 2 corps. I apologise. They're going to prepare for a war with Gibraltar, so I'm going to dispatch 1 to the far right. And I'm going to split a second to the centre. Obviously, once Galatia have been defeated, we can move on and move those troops back over. But I just want them out of the way, and I want their IC. Now, it should be said, my neutrality hasn't dropped any further, so I need to wait for slightly more wars to start. Hopefully, some ones in Asia will kick off. That will really take down our neutrality. Now, I don't think that anyone has any private alliances yet. It doesn't show the diplomacy tab anyway. That's just very good news. We have another infantry division on the field now. I'm going to get Sami Saravia, great name, in on the action. I should say that I think I mentioned last time. Oh, they don't skill up any further than 5. I thought they could go further. But anyway, if they're the highest possible skill. Which is a shame, but I suppose they'll develop some traits if I put them in combat. Bahrain have declared war on Monaco, so the Comintern are getting involved in it. Moscow region is under threat. Monaco need to be quelled. Yeah, so the Comintern are moving in against them. I would anticipate that to be quite a short-lived affair as well. Speaking of which, it does appear that Ingushetia have already lost a province. 1 province, but they're still going. There seem to be some rebels here. There's a rebel problem. Vorarlberg are mobilising. Oh, it's dropping. I can now offer an alliances. Now that's going to cause a problem, I should say. I think that was another war that just was declared, which I missed. I will move as soon as I can. If I mobilise, I think that might... Yeah, there's a lot going on now. I'm thinking if I mobilise, that might be sufficiently threatening to know neutrality enough to declare war. Oh, I wasn't quite right, but we shouldn't be there for too long. The United States are offering us money. Of course, the United States in this game. Oh, I should show you around the world. I haven't showed you around the world. Okay, so this is Europe. Obviously, the most important and best continent in the world. Not to trigger anyone. Egypt have incidentally joined the Allies. They're the first country, apart from the base 3, to join a faction. Australia Morocco have joined the Axis as well. That's quite annoying because they're here in Turkey. They have a very good influence over the Med. So yes, the major nations of Europe are the Netherlands, obviously influencing things from the south of the Mediterranean, from Africa. Bahrain will be influencing things from the east, but everything seems quite balanced in Europe. In general, there don't seem to be any specific powers which really stand out by looking at the map. I suppose if you're looking at it, this Belize look like they might possess quite a significant amount of industry, as do Rhone Alps and Romandie, but I think everything's to be quite balanced there. If you move over to the States, well, the Bahamas absolutely dominate the map, as do Aragon and the Isle of Man, which I love. Poland can into space. They're very close to Cape Canaveral, so hopefully that will come under their control sooner enough. Looking at the map, everything, again, no particular standout powers. I mean, of course, I can't tell how many IC are in each one of these provinces. I'm just judging it. I'm just eyeballing it at the moment. South America. Ceylon look like the major power. Kyrgyzstan, maybe. East Anglia, of course. Also with these English provinces coming out, it's very funny. Wow, Shikuku, they look very influential. So obviously, if you are interested in any part of the world that I've just rudely ignored. Yeah, please just pause and you can see for yourself. I'm sorry about my mouse. I have ordered a new one, but they annoyingly sent it back to the... I don't know why it happened. They tried to deliver, I wasn't in, but they've sent it back to the sender as a result of that, which I find really annoying, whereas rather than attempting to re-deliver it, as I sort of expect companies to do. But, well, you know, what are you going to do? It wasn't Royal Mail, that was the problem. It was another one. It was someone else, UK Mail or something. Back in my day, when I worked at the post office. Yeah, Royal Mail, to be honest, they do have quite good working ethic, but they just, I don't know, they're just a very expensive organisation. It's the unions, which they have to subsidise, basically. Right, Galatia, I really want to declare war on them. I just feel like I could absolutely take them. Look at the stack I have here, versus their one. Saying I was going to play this quite tactically, the war against Galatia will not be fought quite tactically. What's going to happen is I'm going to run everyone in, and I'm just going to beat them through numbers. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to move 4 infantry divisions over to Delhi, so I can attack from the second axis and get even more of my superior strength involved. That's the token bit of strategy that I'm going to do. It's just increasing front width. That's the only thing I'm going to do. Supplies, by the way, are dwindling, so I'm going to have to bump them up annoyingly. I don't like to spend money on supplies. Sweden have gone to war to Uzbekistan. I mean, who would have predicted that? That's not a war that you ever thought you'd see as a headline, but I suppose they have happened. Looking at the way that the Mediterranean is shaping up, I've realised that if the Netherlands do take Ingushetia, which looks very likely, Morocco are very well positioned to influence potentially the Bosphorus Strait, or the Bosphorus is actually how it's just referred to. So they could end up with both potentially the Suez Canal and the Med and the Bosphorus Canal under their control, which will be quite significant to them. They might even benefit from the strategic effects one day. None of these things at the moment I'm going to get, not for a long time. I'm suffering from neutrality at the moment, which in this mod is like a swear word, like, honestly. So Lesotho are taking the opportunity to go to war with Germany. They've obviously seen that Darfur are moving in, and they've sensed that there's potentially an opportunity for them to move to exploit on their weakness. Open a second front. It did look like Germany was just starting to take some territory. Ossetia is mobilizing. It's all very dramatic, this. It's interesting not knowing, Bahrain are absolutely crushing Monaco. Yeah, they won't be here for Monaco, have basically conceded already. They're at the doorstep of their capital. And Formosa have declared war on the Ottoman Empire. So there's a fight between Mexico and Texas and other parts. Bahrain have now officially annexed Monaco. Bahrain could potentially become a beast as well. Who knows? What does that do to neutrality? Oh, still not high enough. We need a war in the region, is basically what we need. Everyone at the moment is still quite friendly around us. Have Galatia signed a private alliance? No, they have not. Guinea-Bissau are at war with Ivory Coast. And I think Jerusalem are at war with someone as well. Ivory Coast are at war with Guinea-Bissau? Yeah. So these two are going at it. Obviously, Guinea-Bissau want to move inland. They want to take back the land that was rightfully theirs. Lithuania, Poland. That's where it actually belongs to them. You get some very interesting dynamics in this game. I mean, imagine if you actually lived in this world. It'd be so weird, wouldn't it? Tsar Protectorate have declared war on Ossetia. So it's all kicking off in, basically in Russia. Ossetia at war with Tsar Protectorate, which put them on the border with Bahrain. But there's going to be definitely a bit of a power struggle, if it seems to be, for the sort of central Russian regions. Bahrain, I would say, in a very good position to do that. But if any one of their allies can consolidate, then they could be a threat and take them out straight away. Because before the factions join up, there's not really that much of a threat posed by anyone to anyone, really. I have in the past seen one faction just go out really early like ridiculously early, like literally in 1937, because they didn't form enough alliances and they just lost straight away. Now, if I remember correctly, I think Greece controlled the Panama Canal. Yes, they do. So Greece control the Panama Canal, so they're going to be very influential. The Soto has been accepted into the Axis. So again, that also plays into the Mediterranean game that the Axis definitely appear to be playing. Foothold here on the Adriatic. I think it depends how. I don't know how navally orientated these countries are, but that's 3 nations with an influence over the Mediterranean, particularly the Eastern Mediterranean. So I can definitely see this being a thing. There's quite a lot of border movement between Ivory Coast and Guinea-Bissau. I don't know really who's getting the better of it yet. It seems like Guinea-Bissau have pushed out away. Ivory Coast have pushed out away from their capital, and it seemed to be at the risk of cutting off the Ivorian capital, the Guinea-Bissau capital. Guinean? Oh, it's quite a difficult word to say, isn't it? Greece have joined the Comintern. They're very unsupported. Bahrain aren't really in a position to do anything about that. They can't really support each other in any way at all, but it is still a strategic asset for the Comintern to have. Panama Canal being crucial for world trade and transport. Belgium have gone to war with... who was it with? I can't remember. Tuva. Probably the most legendary country in Hearts of Iron 3. They're like over here in like Eastern Mongolia in real life. I would say real life in actual Hearts of Iron. Right, can I go to war yet? No, I can't. God, it's taking longer than I thought, you know, all of this business. Bahrain are once again mobilising. Don't know if this is coming down any further. Neighbours. So I'm going to increase the threat of Bahrain. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous, but I think essentially at the moment, I don't know if we're going to just by virtue of other things that are happening around the world get involved in a war. So I'm going to recruit some spies and help them that way. Help it along that way. So Ivory Coast has declared war, has joined the Allies. So the Allies now have a foothold in Europe, and obviously they have an investment in this war. Factions are slowly growing, it seems. Greece have declared war on Ingria. I don't even see where Ingria is. Can't see that, but it looks like Formosa are definitely pushing into the Ottoman Empire. Oh, so weird, isn't it? I don't know who on earth Greece just declared war on, but they're a really strategic nation actually. With their influence over the Caribbean and the Panama Canal, I hope they have a do have a naval focus tree, because otherwise, you know, a naval focus, because otherwise they're just going to be totally outgunned. So, another war here kicking off. This time over the Great Lakes. Ingria and Euskadi. Don't know where those places are in reality. I know they're not actual countries, by the way. My geography is pretty good. Yeah, so it seems to be that the spies are now making our neutrality come down. I'm wasting time though. I mean, it's almost already May. I'm gonna have to get some more. I'm spending too much on supplies, that's for certain. I'm going to switch production from armour back to infantry, just because I will need more bodies on the field holding guns. Is in essence what I need at the moment. And also our upgrades have just finished with something, so that's very good as well. That's a lot of wars that have just happened. Has that allowed me to? No, I don't think just by virtue of what happens around us we're going to become aggressive enough. So I think neutrality is first of all a very weird term that I've never really heard used ever by anyone. But I like the idea that even a sensible nation in a world that's gone up in absolute flames would do something crazy, which is the whole world tension mechanic or the idea behind it anyway, I take. So we've got 10 spies in Bahrain that are increasing their relative threat to us. So that is good. We'll switch back to counter-espionage and set our own priority to 10 as well. And then I suppose I can switch off officers because I am not recruiting any more divisions currently. So we'll go back to researching stuff. Very good. So Ivory Coast won. So the Allies definitely came out on top there. And Israel have declared war on the Balearic Islands. That again could be a relatively even... Oh no, it's not an evenly matched contest at all. Israel are considerably stronger. So I'd definitely anticipate Washington being under the control of Israel soon. Right, there we go. I'm just waiting. I'm ticking down. I'm looking specifically at just Galatia as well. No, Gibraltar doesn't help either. What about Garm? Can I go to war with them? No. None of my neighbours. Algeria are now in the Allies, so they're leading in terms of faction members. Oh, that's interesting. Now, that means they must share a border with me somewhere. Because I have the option to revoke my claims on them as they're a faction member. So, I can't see where I border Algeria, unless I have a colony? That'd be news to me. I haven't noticed. Hold on. You see this. Neighbours. Algeria. Yeah, and Iberia. I must have a colony somewhere. Let me check Japan. Here? No? One of the specific Pacific Islands? I do not know for the life of me how I border these people. It's probably from the sea that I don't have, and the navy that I don't have either. I don't know how that happened, by the way. No. So I don't know what's happened there. The Spanish Protectorate of Morocco, but this is different to actual Morocco, I should say, have gone to war. Wessex have been accepted into... Oh, that's not good news. One of my neighbours, Garm, has been accepted into the Allies. Now, obviously, with the faction leader being relatively close to me geographically, that's a very big problem, as that means I won't be able to take my cause, at least this year. I'm hoping that's had an influence on my neutrality. No, it's not low enough. Go lower! I can't appoint some, like, absolute crazy person to... No, why do I change my leader? No. Threat impact -10. That's not the last thing I want. Right. It's getting confusing, this, because I didn't envisage that I'd ever be stuck in this position. I do apologise. I'm also aware that time hasn't been progressing quite as quickly as I did beforehand. I'd let you all think that this would be a more action-packed episode. Bahrain, things are happening around the world. It's in essence the commentary style that I'm going for at the moment. But oh, there we go. 1 more month. That's what I needed. Right, Galatia is going down. So it begins everywhere. The first war of the series against the socially conservative Galatia. We're going to conquer them. And no one has come to their aid. So this will be an absolute ruffle stomp, to use military tactics terms. So I'm going to attack with 3 divisions as a support attack into Bathinda. And I'm going to attack with another 3, sorry, into Bathinda from another angle. Most of these should be able to get involved. Obviously, on very hard difficulty, you do start with a -40% factor. If you look at the bottom hand left, or bottom left here, you can see I start with a -40% difficulty bonus penalty. And obviously there's other things affecting combat, like the fact we're fighting in a level 3 fort, and we're moving slowly, apparently. I don't know what that means. But we're now at war, so that means we can invoke some incredibly harsh laws. I will move up to heavy industry emphasis for now. I'll try and link up the wars. I don't think that that's necessarily worth it. Brandenburg have joined the Allies, but we are most certainly getting the benefit of the doubt here. Benefit of the doubt being we are winning. That's what I mean by that. We aren't in range with our bombers, but this battle, as you can see here, their organisation is dropping rapidly. If you to check the stats, we're fighting 37,000 with 41,000. They're attempting to counter-strike here, or counter-attack, I should say. No, it's not CS:GO. I realise also that Galatia won't even mobilise, so this is total annihilation at the moment. But that's let me think about how I'm going to set up my troops to attack on Gibraltar. Now their VPs are away. I'm going to put I'm going to only put a single division here in this province. The other 4 will push straight on to Punica. That's a really horrible word to say if you're English. Basically everything is difficult to say if you're English. We're terrible at language as a nation. It's one of the most embarrassing things about us. I am particularly also Ulfo, so I apologise to everyone. Oh, is that more Galatian territory? Is Galatia bigger than I thought it was? It is! It's much bigger than I thought it was. Oh, I thought they were going to, like, literally just collapse instantly. It's not the case. I apologise, everyone. I'm going to strategically redeploy and get my other 2 corps onto the front as well. I really just thought they were going to crumple instantly. Like, absolutely 100%. So I'm sorry about that, everyone. They're moving? Yeah, they're moving. And I suppose we might as well move our command structure up as well, because there's no point having one if it's not in range. Right, there we go. I will, however, leave 1 division behind in the capital, just in case anything does happen, like sneaky paratroopers or something. You never know. I'm going to try and force out this division, just to I'm hoping we can trap it in the north, just to keep it basically on the back foot. I'll let 2 divisions take their capital. I think that'll probably be enough. There we go. Yeah, it's all going good. Except for the fact that I realised that Galatia is much bigger than I thought it was. That's quite funny, actually. I really just thought they had 1 province. I thought this was another nation here, so the weird geography of the country threw me off. It's probably a bit of an unnecessary battle, but I'm trying to stop their traverses and be able to regroup in the south. Once I get a 2nd division ready to go, I'll try and launch an attack against this division here in Alwar. We'll just basically try and keep their troops on the back foot. We do outnumber them, I suspect, but obviously in the south they outmaneuver us currently because I totally cocked up. Great start. Well done, Giles. The big G promise. I don't think... Ooh, alliance offer. But no, I can't take it. I'm not going to take any private alliance offers. Maybe I should. I'm very tempted to take this offer. The Free State of Danzig here on the right. I feel like until 1938, maybe I am allowed to have alliances. But I'm going to decline it just in case I forget to cancel it. I don't have faith that I'd remember to do it, basically. Let's swing these troops through here again. Actually. And they're retreating back into the country proper, not into the northern pocket, which I was hoping they would do. So we've got 2 divisions here ready to go. The 12th and the 14th Infantry are going to move into Alwar. There is a land fort here, but I generally think we should be able to beat them. We'll get intel on how strong it is soon. It's obviously a low level because we're winning straight away. It's only a level 2 fort, and I think we're just better than them. I think our troops are better trained and they're better equipped. Certainly our commander's better. It's level 5. He's a fanatic, that guy. I like that trait. We'll get our bombers into play. We'll see what kind of air force they do have, if anything. It looks like... No? I thought for a minute they might have had AA, but no, it's not the case. Well, just to get our troops a bit more experience and generally just harass them slightly. Our supply stockpiles are very depleted, but that's because they are moving around the map. Belgium conquered Jerusalem, which I find quite funny. Who knows? King Leopold might have come back from the dead or something.